And on your Instagram, you hit some huge rips. I'm like, holy shit, man. What is that like?
Well, sometimes it's funny just because there's been times to where I've definitely taken like 2 or 3 like videos to try to get the better video. Yeah. So sometimes it's like taking 3 slabs versus just recording anything and being like, fuck it, I really don't care. So there's times where I've been like dying, coughing, drooling all over the place, like holy fuck, that was way too hot, you know, because when you take a hot dab, it evaporates a lot faster. So if you take a nice low temp, it pretty much like sits in like a boiling pot and it kind of just rotates and lightly simmers the smoke versus like just giving you a rush of fucking vapor right away.
Yeah. So what is the optimal temperature for a dab?
I would say
for the most pleasurable experience, like balance of pleasure versus intensity.
So this banger takes like 50 seconds to decrease heat to where it's like perfect temperature and you get complete flavors. Like I don't know if you've done like the difference of a titanium nail versus like a banger.
Dude, I don't know anything on dabs.
Okay.
Like so, I've done them, but I couldn't tell you anything about them. I know vaporizers really well.
So like with dabs, it's totally best to have glass banger, which is this little piece right here. And
so for those who are just listening to it, it's a piece that kind of looks almost like a cup of beer.
Yeah,
It really like does. It looks like a little cup of beer, and you heat this thing up with a blowtorch.
Correct.
And you get it to the temperature you want. How do you know when it's hot enough?
So with this glass, you see I left it a little bit. There's a little like char inside there.
Sure.
A little tiny char.
There's like a little bit just right in the center.
Yeah, just like it looks like a little char on glass. And technically a good way to know when your banger is ready to go is when the old dab is completely burned out and you got a nice clean, like even if you got to heat it for like 2 minutes, clean that shit up and get it back to a nice clean banger, and then wait the time and take the dab, because if you end up like taking a dab with that shit in there, it might even contaminate my dab and give it like a burnt taste or some shit like that. And sometimes I've felt like if I leave it in there and I just give it like a 10-second heat just to get enough heat to take a dab off of it, sometimes I feel like it steals my dab. Like it gets into the char.
And it ruins it.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, what the fuck? Where'd it go?
So basically, you have to burn that enough, so long enough so that little bit that you left over is your indication that okay, I've heated it up enough.
Right, and if you don't have anything left in your banger, like if you Q-tipped it to where it's like a nice clean, nice bucket again, then I would say like 45 to 50 seconds is a good heat.
Okay, so
maybe
just
even a minute.
under. I was gonna say just under a minute, or is a minute cool as well?
Yeah, a minute's cool if you got to do it. Like I said, you definitely want to burn it out to where it's clean again, so you can end up having the cleanest dab. After it gets to a certain low temperature, you'll notice the perfect time. After you dab enough, it's kind of like a wrist technique. Your wrist is pretty easy flesh, so you can feel heat pretty well over it. So you just take your wrist and you put it over the banger.
Safely, of course.
Right. And you obviously don't
caution.
touch it.
Yeah, don't touch it. It's just to have a sense of the heat that's coming off of it.
It's almost like, imagine, touching the stove without, you can't see if the stove's on, and, you're not just going to put your hand on it. You're going to put your hand over it.
You're going to put your hand over it to feel it, for sure.
Okay, cool. That's hot, or it's not hot. And after you dab for a while, you definitely pick up a good sense of when your dab is ready. Sometimes people pick up a timer. Sometimes people have the sand timers, the little So that's definitely good to have. Yeah, it's good to have when you're starting off, because burning your dab and just watching it evaporate or just coughing your balls off is 2 ways to find out that it was too hot.
Well, and you even like your phone has a timer, so like you can easily time that precisely.
There's people that will time how long they heat up, time how long it sits, and then just time how long they can keep their dab going for. So, just getting specifics.
There's an art to it.
There is, for sure.
Yeah, dude, dabs are too much for me sometimes. I just get too high from dabs to the point where I'm like, this isn't fun. I mean, but I guess it depends on the type of dabs you're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And
I'm sure there's different effects.
Right, and if you're dabbing correctly too, because if you're dabbing off a titanium nail, that's going to be a lot of high heat going straight to your throat, going to your chest. It's evaporating fast. So when you do titanium nails, and that was like 3-4 years ago when everybody was just getting into dabbing and shit, those definitely hurt, because that's how it was. It's like first we started off with a glass nail, and then it had the little dome, and that's what we were dabbing off of when we first started getting this like poop soup, which was like tar looking.
Poop soup.
It was garbage.
Yeah.
But it was sent from our friend in California, and that's what he was seeing. So we were like, cool, man, send it up. First time I saw it, I was like, that's not weed, man. I'm not doing anything with that.
Yeah.
My friend's like, dude, you just torch this thing, and then you put this thing on top, and you just dab this shit on it. And I was like, yeah, dude, no. Like, you got any weed, though? And he's like, dude, I only got like a half ounce and just this stuff. He said it's better. And I was like, dude, I really don't want to do that. Like, can we just pack a bowl? He's like, dude, you're going to try it. You're going to try it. We're all trying it. So we all sat down and we took a dab on this fucking little rig he bought and heated up this glass nail. We put the dome on it, and we all just, and you just watch the smoke pretty much like ripple up and just get sucked down in a little hole through the rig, and then you just blow out this cloud, and you're like,
and you can't even breathe. Right. Yeah, that's how it was for me.
Yeah.
I did not like it.
So if we take a dab later, I'll show you the correct dab, and we don't have to do it now. We can do it later before I roll out. So if you do freak out, you can't blame me.
I'm like, I don't know if I have the stamina, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, so this is a nice smelling container of dabs.
So what goes into the process of making a dab?
A
what
lot.
Exactly is it? Because I feel like I don't fully understand.
So it would pretty much be a very scientific thing if you saw it. It would look like a fucking laboratory setup, and it should be very concentrated in the setup, just because it's like there were people that were starting off making dabs in their garage using butane, which is like cans like this. Mm-hmm. So they would be buying like a 50 pack of this shit, and they were stuffing like 4 ounces into a glass vial, and then they were pushing all the liquid through it, and then it would like pretty much wash all the trichomes off the bud.
What are trichomes?
Trichomes are the little crystals all over the plant. So it's like when you get a product of the plant, which is the bud, they produce a bunch of crystals which kind of look like sand. It's the things that are they're very, very tiny on there. Mm-hmm. And
it's what gives it kind of a fuzzy look.
Right, exactly, or a sugary look. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sugary,
and
definitely.
That is the ingredient to get you high. THC is the actual thing that burns and gets you high. It starts out THCA, and when you put it through a flame or heat and burn it, it turns to THC, which gets you high.